We come back, we're getting ready to chat with our chief nutritionist, Miss Lisa Hunt, as she presents My Plate, A Healthy Plate, first ever nutrition program brought to you by the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs. So stick with us, we'll be right back.
Now you can have your deaf announcements and teleobituaries heard on Sundays, right after the church service with Father Albert from the Babano Good Shepherd Catholic Church. That's right. On Sundays, have your deaf announcements and teleobituaries heard right here on Hot7 TV and Kiss FM simultaneously. Call 452-6040 from Monday to Friday. Call and make arrangements for your deaf announcements and teleobituaries to be heard at 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. Monday to Saturday, and on Sunday right after the church service with Father Albert from the Babano Good Shepherd Catholic Church.
Here's your guide to installing Hot7's digital antenna.
Please note that all TV sets manufactured today have a digital tuner. TV sets manufactured before the year 2005 may not have a built-in digital tuner, and you may not be able to receive our free-to-air digital transmission on Channel 7 to receive our free over-the-air digital HD TV service. Number 1. Plug your antenna into your TV set's RF input jack labeled antenna or cable in. Number 2. You will now have to scan for the digital channel. Please note that all digital TVs are different in terms of scanning procedures. The following is a general guide, but the steps or the terminology may be different for your device. Press the menu button on your TV remote. Go to Setup or Settings. Go to Installation or System or Channels. Go to Scan Channels, Program Channels, Auto Scan, Auto Program, or Auto Tuning. Press Select or Enter or OK to start the scan. When the device says scanning is complete, accept the channels found and close the menus.
Have you ever thought about the gift of life? Many don't until it's urgently needed. Here in St. Lucia, we often hear the call. Now it's time to heed the call. Newborns, sickle cell patients, renal patients, cancer fighters, accident and trauma victims, they all need your help. Your unit of blood can save up to 3 lives, 3 families, 3 futures forever transformed. It takes less than an hour to become a hero. Visit any of our blood donation centers Monday to Friday. OKEU from 8:15 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Call us at 458-6748. St. Jude Hospital from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Telephone 459-6700. Schedule your donation today. This Christmas, give the gift of blood.
Manufacturers can claim that a product is trans fat free if it contains less than 0.5 grams of trans fat per serving. However, this doesn't necessarily mean that the product contains no trans fat. Look for the words partially hydrogenated or shortening in the ingredients list to identify the foods that contains trans fat.
This message is brought to you by the Nutrition Unit of the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs.
Now you can take Hot FM, Kiss FM, and Hot7 TV with you wherever you go. Whether you're in St. Lucia or exploring our 4 corners of the globe. Our record-breaking app has already been downloaded over 500,000 times on Google Play and the Apple App Store. To bring you the best in HD sound, we've relaunched a brand new app. Get it for free in the App Store by simply searching Caribbean Hot FM HD. Listen to us in real time, anywhere, any place, anytime. We've added so many cool new new features like our live in-studio option where you can see your favorite announcers and DJs at work. So download the app today. It's free. Spread the news. St. Lucia is now in HD around the world on the Hot FM app. Don't miss out. Join the fun and stay connected.
Consuming foods with trans fats can negatively affect the body in many ways. Consuming foods with trans fats can negatively affect the body in many ways. It can increase the amount of fat around vital organs such as the heart, the kidneys, and the liver. Trans fats can also have a negative effect on the brain and nervous system. There is evidence to show a decline in mental health. Trans fats can also influence chronic inflammation in the body, which can increase disease risks.
This message is brought to you by the Nutrition Unit of the Ministry of Health, Wellness, and Elderly Affairs. And welcome back to the Wellness Hour. And our guest once again, our Chief Nutritionist in the Ministry of Health, Ms. Lisa Hunt. Good morning to you, Ms. Hunt.
Good morning.
It is a pleasure to have you back on.
It's a pleasure to be here.
And we're piloting our first ever nutrition program hosted by our lovely nutritionist. And I got a chance to preview the video. And Ms. Hunt, just before we, air it for the first time here on Hot 7 as part of the Wellness Hour, I think you did a great job. The food looked amazing. I was telling her on the break that I want to join her for the next, when she's doing the next one, because I need to try that food. But the food looks amazing and the information is just so valuable and important. So Ms. Hunt, I wanted to ask, what was it like for you, doing the show and knowing that you're putting out such good information for people to view?
Well, for the first time it was a bit challenging, but I think I thoroughly enjoyed it because it's something that is necessary for St. Lucians to see that putting a healthy plate together is not that difficult.
That's right.
And sometimes as professionals, nutritionists, we tend to find different ways to tell people to eat healthy, like count calories, which can be very cumbersome, and also looking at the serving sizes. But I find that using the plate is such a simple and practical way for someone to eat healthy. So I use all those colors. I mean, I know we're not going to eat like that every day, but I wanted to use all those colors and those local foods that people can see we can actually, put together a healthy plate. Yes.
It looked very healthy. Yes. It was very colorful. It was very pleasing to the eye, because when you see food, that's where you first start to, even consume it just by how it looks. Yes. And so you saw that the plate looked very nutritious, and then you also made it look so easy again to put a healthy plate together. And that's what was really important. Just seeing how foods that you have at home already, just the way that you prepare it, it just becomes very nutritious and healthy. So I think without further ado, I'd like you, Ms. Hunt, to introduce that nutrition program, and so that our viewers can get a first-hand look at the program.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and introduce it.
Okay, so
just to say the name of the program, and then allow the viewers to see.
Okay, so the program is called My Plate, a Healthy Plate, where I am introducing all the different foods that we can use to have a healthy plate. And on this one plate, we had the 6 food groups on one plate. I know we don't have to eat like this every day, as we can have our 6 food groups throughout the day, but I wanted to demonstrate that one plate can have all the 6 food groups that we require to have a balance and variety. So we want to see balance, we want to see variety, we want to see colors, and this is what I was portraying. Great. So enjoy. Welcome to our very first episode of Healthy Plates for Healthy Lives. I am Lisa Hunt, your nutritionist, and I will be sharing with you today some simple and practical tips on how to plan healthy, nutritious, and balanced meals for your family. So we'll be looking at the plate model. What is the plate model? It is basically a simple model which illustrates how to plan a healthy meal. So basically you have your plate, and half of this plate would be your fruits and vegetables, or just vegetables. It can be raw vegetables as in a salad, or it can be steamed vegetables. The other quarter of the plate will be your staples, whether it's your provisions, breadfruits, plantain, whichever you desire. And the next quarter will be your protein source. Now that could come from your plant-based protein or your animal protein or both. So now we are going to prepare a breakfast looking at the plate model. So we already have our staple, which is sliced bread, and we are going to add some vegetables. So we have some cucumber, some lettuce, and some tomatoes. Now when you are having your vegetables, you want to ensure that you have variety. So if today you have tomatoes and cucumbers, next day you can have lettuce, you can have carrots or cabbage, and the more color a fruit or vegetable has is the more potent it is in phytonutrients. And so you want to ensure that you're having different colors. So we have half our plates with the vegetables. Now we are going to have a protein source. So we have hard-boiled egg today, and so today we have in the protein, which is your egg, but you want to have variety. So while you have egg today, you can have tuna fish tomorrow, you can have sardines next day. If you're a vegetarian and you don't consume those food items, you can also have your peanut butter, your hummus, whatever you desire. Okay, so we're having hard-boiled egg today. Next day you can have it scrambled. So in this plate we have our protein source, which is our hard-boiled egg. You have the sliced bread, then you have your vegetables, and you also have the fat source, which is from the avocado, which is plant-based fat. Okay, so this is our plate model for our healthy breakfast. Now we are going to use the plate model for your lunch. When planning your meals, in order for it to be balanced, it is important that you choose from the 6 food groups and make sure that you have variety. So whatever you select today, you may have something else tomorrow. As you know, different foods from the different food groups have different nutrients. And so we have our fruit group here, which has the melons, we have mangoes, we also have orange and yellow. We have different fruits. So the different colors tend to have different phytochemicals, which helps to prevent diseases. So we also have our staples, which include our provisions, also includes breads, crackers, our cereals like oats, etc. And so this will form the bulk of the diet in terms of providing energy. They provide carbohydrates to our body to give us energy. Then you have the vegetable group, which is very important. It's one of the groups that we are lacking in St. Lucia in our diet, and we want to ensure that we have more vegetables. We have an array of vegetables here. We have okra, which is extremely high in fiber. If you want to ensure that you help to reduce your cholesterol, you want to have high fiber foods, and vegetables and fruits are good for that. We have our peppers, we have cucumber, tomatoes, carrots, and when you are planning your meals, make sure that you are using local foods because you want to ensure that the food is close to your plate. Then we move on to the next food group. We have our the legumes and nuts, and also seeds form in that group. This food group, you want to have variety. They're very high in protein. It's a good protein source, especially for people who do not consume animal foods. It is high in fiber, high in minerals, high in potassium. So persons with high blood pressure, you want to focus on that food group because it will help to reduce your blood pressure, just as well as fruits and vegetables. So there we have our seeds. We have pumpkin seeds, these are packed with nutrients and proteins, and you have your almonds. So you want to ensure that you have this food group, if not every day, but at least 4 times for the week. Then we have our food from animals. So we have our sardines, which is very healthy, high in protein. So you can have some fish, you can have some chicken, you can have your dairy, which is your cheese and your eggs. This food group you will get your iron from. You will also get your proteins and fats as well. Then we have our fats and oils. This food group you have we have your oil. So the oil can be coconut oil, it can be olive oil, it can be from vegetable-based oils, or you can have avocado, which is a very healthy fat. It is high in what we call monounsaturated fat, which helps to reduce the bad cholesterol and increase the good cholesterol. So this is very healthy for us to add to our diets. You also have coconuts. Coconut is also a fat, which is a healthy form of fat in our diet. So these are the 6 food groups. You want to ensure that you have at least 5 of them when you are planning your meals. You can have all in one sitting, or you can spread them out throughout the day, your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and even your snacks. When you are having snacks for you and your children, you want to ensure that you are thinking of the food groups when you are planning snacks for children. So let's see how we are going to put a healthy plate together using our plate model. So today we have stir-fry vegetables. So we have a cooked vegetable, and we also have a salad, which is raw vegetable. So in this salad, there is cucumber. It is called a mango and mango, cucumber, and tomato salad. So in there's a little bit of black pepper. We have a little bit of herbs, local herbs in there. We have some sliced chopped mango, cucumbers, tomato, and also some red peppers and some garlic as well. So you want to ensure you have half of the plate of with vegetables, like I said before. So we have our stir fry, and we have so this is half of our plate. Okay, so on quarter of the plates, you want to ensure you have some protein sauce. So today we have chickpeas. So we have some chickpeas, which is cooked. Chickpeas can be very, very hard, so you want to ensure that you soak it overnight, or else you'll be using a lot of gas. So we have quarter with our chickpeas. And also, so remember, quarter of the plate must be the protein sauce. So we have the chickpeas, and we also have some curry chicken. And I love curry chicken. So we have curry chicken today. So 2 pieces should be enough, because we already have some protein sauce from the beans. And the next quarter, you want to ensure that you have your your staples. So today we have some sliced plantain, which with a little bit of cinnamon to give it flavor. Now I know St. Lucians, we tend to like fry plantain. So a way to cut back on the oil, what you can do is use a non-stick pan with a little bit of oil, and then you can slice it very thinly so it can cook. So this is what I did today. So you can have because it is sliced so thinly, you can have a little bit more. So we have this, and we also have some breadfruit slices. There you have it, folks. This is your healthy plate. And as you can see, this plate is very colorful. It has yellow, it has green, it has cream, it has red, it has purple. So all of those colors will be adding nutrients to your body, and so this is what we are speaking about when we speak about when we talk about using the plate model to ensure that your meal is balanced.
and just ensure that you have variety. Now, your meal doesn't have to look like this every day. This is more for demonstration to see how you can incorporate all the 6 food groups on one plate. However, you can incorporate your 6 food groups throughout the meals throughout the day, whether it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, so here is our final healthy plate, which is well balanced. As you can see, there are many colors. We have red, we have green, we have orange, we have purple. So all those colors indicate that they are high in nutrients and they are high in what you call phytochemicals, which helps to protect you from heart disease. And so whilst this incorporates all the 6 food groups, because we have our fats there, we have our protein source, we have our vegetables and our fruits, you can improvise by using 1 or 2 vegetables. You don't have to have all of those vegetables that I have there. Sometimes it's not possible, and so you just want to ensure at least having one of the food groups, at least one of the, whether you have, for example, if you have tomato and carrot, that could be your vegetable for the day. So next day you can change to have 2 others or even 1, but you want to ensure that you are adding variety every single day. So I'm going to leave you with some simple and practical tips when you are planning your meals. Make sure that you plan ahead. This helps to save time, energy, and money. And so that also helps you to know what is it that you need before you go to do your shopping. So you must ensure that you have a grocery list of all the items that you would need for the meals that you have planned. Ensure that you buy food that is fresh, local, and in season, because it's going to be cheaper and it's going to be more nutrient dense. The fresher the foods are, the more nutrient dense they are. Ensure that you plan using the 6 food groups, as I have already showed you here, that you use the 6 food groups to plan. You can also prepare your meals in batches and store it in the refrigerator or in the freezer for the rest of the week, or you can prep. So if you do not cook in batches, you can prep your food where you wash it, you chop it, and you leave it in the refrigerator, so it makes it easier to prepare the meal the next day. When you're planning your meals, make sure you have variety. You want to think of colors, the different colors, and you want to change the fruits and the vegetables and the foods in the food group so you can get all the nutrients that you need, because different colors and different foods tend to have different nutrients, and so you need the variety. It is important that you use the plate model, as it will help you to make better choices. It will help you to save time and money for your family's health. Remember, we eat not to satisfy hunger, but to nourish our bodies. Start by making small changes, 1 or 2 tips, and then you build from there, as it's going to have a bigger impact. Thank you for watching Healthy Plates for Healthy Lives. I am Lisa Hunt, and see you next time, where I will discuss portion sizes.
And there you have it, our very first episode, My Plate, a Healthy Plate, hosted by our Chief Nutritionist, Miss Lisa Hunt. And I think that was an amazing first episode. You did a great job. Again, I know that you know this information so well, Miss Hunt. You live by it. Some of the fruits and vegetables that you saw came from her. You had the mango, yes, the mango. That lovely pumpkin. Yes. Wow, so you do your own gardening and yes. The pawpaw. Yes. That's pretty amazing. And the information, I'm happy. I love how you broke down the plate model so that people can understand. I also wanted to ask you, Ms. Hunt, with the breakfast, and especially the staple as the sliced bread, would the number of slices matter in terms of maybe if you already have a chronic disease or you're trying to prevent one? Would you tailor it based on that so you have more or less that kind of thing?
Yeah. So our needs are based on our sex, whether we are male or female, our activity level, and also what health conditions somebody has. So I couldn't just tell you eat 2 slices of bread or eat 1 slice of bread. It's usually calculated based on whether your height, your weight, etc.
Okay.
And if you have a chronic disease. So basically, for the day, a nutritionist or dietitian will plan a meal for you based on your requirements, and so you may, one slice of bread may be adequate for you, or 3 slices if you're somebody who's an active person. You know, so it depends on your situation, and that's why we cannot use one diet plan for everybody. And I know some people are doing it, but it is incorrect. We all eat differently. And we base what we give you is based on the way you're already eating. Because I cannot tell you to eat bread. What if you don't eat bread? So then you would select from the other staples. And it is okay to have things like breadfruit for breakfast, sliced breadfruit. You can have your plantain. I love plantain. I have my plantain with my scrambled eggs for breakfast when I don't want to eat bread. So, and that's why we have the different food groups. So you can select what is it that you like. If you want to eat crackers instead, you don't have to eat bread. So that was basically for demonstration purposes. But you can choose whichever food you want from the food group. Whenever it has to be healthy, though.
I love that. I love that. So what we're going to do right now, Ms. Hans, is we're going to take a quick break. Of course, when we come back, we're still discussing our first episode, My Plate, a Healthy Plate, and we have our chief nutritionist here to give us all the information. Again, an amazing first episode, and I know that Ms. Hans, you did an amazing job as well. So stick with us. We'll be right back. We're going to take a short break here on the Wellness Hour.
To reduce trans fats in your diet. Avoid fried foods. Choose foods that are baked, steamed, broiled, or grilled. Choose more fresh fruits and vegetables, ground provisions, peas, beans, fish, lean meats, and nuts instead of highly processed foods. Cut back on the consumption of processed foods. Eat these foods less often and in smaller portions. Eat foods that are closest to the natural state as much as possible.
This message is brought to you by the Nutrition Unit of the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs. Have you ever thought about the gift of life? Many don't until it's urgently needed. Here in St. Lucia, we often hear the call. Now it's time to heed the call. Newborns, sickle cell patients, renal patients, cancer fighters, accident and trauma victims, they all need your help. Your unit of blood can save up to 3 lives, 3 families, 3 futures forever transformed. It takes less than an hour to become a hero. Visit any of our blood donation centers Monday to Friday. OKEU from 8:15 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Call us at 458-6748. St. Jude Hospital from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Telephone 459-6700. Schedule your donation today. This Christmas, give the gift of blood.
And welcome back to the Wellness Hour. So we're chatting with our chief nutritionist, and of course we just premiered the first episode of My Plate, a Healthy Plate. So Ms. Hunt, you did the breakfast and then you went into lunch as well using the plate model, and again that lunch looks so good, so beautiful, and I love the colors. Tell us about, you know, the salads especially, because you gave 2 varieties. You did the steamed stir fry, and then you did a raw, but with the mango and everything. So tell us about some of what was in there.
Yes, so for the raw salad, there was tomatoes. I had some mango, some peppers. Is it peppers? Yeah, red peppers. I also had cucumber. So all of those colors and textures, and you know,
and
different
you
nutrients.
cubed up everything. I loved
cubed up
how it
everything
was
to look
chunky and nice.
The mango came in last because I feel it needed something yellow. So the mango, and the first one I added was a little, on the sour side. So I kind of mixed the sour and the sweet together. Yes, because I have a tree in my backyard. So, and I added some black pepper, a little oil.
Okay.
And mix that together, and some garlic as well. Yes.
I could just imagine the flavors of the mango and the cucumber,
bursting
the
in your
tomato.
mouth. Yeah.
I love that, and the fact that it was diced, so it was chunky, and yeah, I can definitely see myself and it seemed like it was easy enough to just prepare.
Yes, very easy, very easy. You just chop everything together and you just mix. You know, if you want to have a little vinaigrette, you can make a vinaigrette and add it to it. And so the cooked one now, it was stir fried, not overcooked. I like my vegetables kind of what you call al dente, full to the bite. You don't want
so you have that nice crunch.
Yes, and it's not good to overcook vegetables because it some of the nutrients
you
are
lose
lost
some of the nutrients
by heat or So I used cabbage. I used carrots. What else did I use? And some peppers, I think. Yeah. So I tried to use something different from what was actually in the raw one. Okay. It's good to have the raw and the cooked, you know. So
and it's
not
good
just
variety.
Cooked, yeah.
And
so that was the half plate. So you can have your raw and your cook, and you can incorporate both fruits and vegetables or vegetables alone. Okay. So if you do not like mangoes or you want to try something else, whatever you like, pawpaw, what other vegetables and fruits do we have in season? And using foods in season is actually cheaper, and so it's
definitely because by the market now I know you can probably go and get a bag of cucumbers for $4 because they're so readily available.
So
sometimes you get a big bag of lettuce, $5, fresh good lettuce, kale as well. Also some good vegetables, and then avocado is in season.
Yes, so you have a little avocado for your healthy fat next to the meal. And I did, as you can, if you realize, I didn't use lettuce in the lunch because I use lettuce in the breakfast. Yeah,
so that's how you can switch it up.
Yes, and you can have plenty of vegetables in the day. So it is not that difficult to do, and so that's why I think the healthy plates, can be used by anybody, right, to eat healthy.
Now I love how you gave us a variety in terms of the protein. So you had your hummus or chickpeas at your channel, and then you had the curry chicken. So and with the chicken portion, you didn't need as much because you kind of had half in terms of the
So in the quarter, I use both the plant-based and animal-based. But if you can use only animal if you want to, or only use the plant. But I like having the peas because peas is high in fiber, and it's, we're trying to push more plant-based protein. But you can have both if you so desire. And I use a little coconut milk in the chicken, the curry chicken, yes. And just a little bit of oil, and you just let this.
So healthier options for even preparing the protein as well.
Yes, because it's one thing to have a healthy plate, but having the plate looking beautiful is not adequate. The cooking methods will determine whether the plate is healthy.
That's very
important.
And
also the portion size. Yes. And so what else did I have on that plate?
And with the chickpeas as well, you can really add your own seasonings. You can go in with your green peppers,
I like my
red
herbs,
peppers,
and make sure that the seasonings that we are using that they are not salt-based seasoning. Because if you are using those salt-based seasoning, they're very high in sodium, and persons who have high blood pressure, can have a problem with this. And I think for anybody,
your natural herbs and everything.
If you add your herbs, you add dehydrated seasonings, then the flavor comes out, so you don't need so much salt.
I love that. And then you went into you had the slices of breadfruit and the plantain, and I realized you didn't have much, because sometimes you have a plate and you have like some big heaps of breadfruit or something,
and you realize
it's not necessary.
It's not necessary, because if you have your peas, you have your protein, and you have adequate vegetables, then you will be full. So we have to retrain our mind and retrain our bodies how we eat.
Because I'm saying I could probably go with maybe 2 slices of breadfruit, 3 bits of plantain, because I love ripe plantain. Even sweet potato as well is a very good option.
Yes.
I love that. And the plate looked healthy, it looked nutritious, it looked full in, but not remember the last time I asked you if after you eat you feel lethargic and you have what we call niggeritis, you know? That plate looked like it would really fuel you. And I have to say, Miss Hunt, since you came on the show the last time, just, you know, taking in your information, just the discussion about portion sizes and all of that, I've been trying it. So at lunchtime, my portions, even when I take food from home, I try to measure my portions as best as I can.
That's good.
And I feel a lot better at lunchtime. I eat and I don't feel like, oh my gosh, I need to just lie down, I want to put my head on the desk. No, I feel better.
That's good.
Even when I go walking now, I've noticed a change in just my overall breathing as well, because I have not eaten so much that my body probably still trying to digest
it.
And so I have a little bit more energy when I'm walking. I'm not getting out of breath a lot faster. I remember just walking yesterday and I was saying to my partner, I feel so different walking today than the other days, and I know it probably has a lot to do with just being able to control my portions, making that decision to control your portions. And I can't stress enough how you probably save so much more money by controlling your portions, because the amount of food we think we need to cook and we think we need to eat is significantly less, and you find yourself not wasting so much food because you put food in the fridge, you know, the shelf life in the fridge is not as long as we think, and then, you know, so you find yourself throwing food out. As Ms. Hunt had stressed, just buying the seasonal foods and meal prepping as well.
Meal prepping is extremely important, because, you know, as a professional, it can be so tiring every morning. I'm speaking from experience. Every day, every morning, to have to prepare food for you and your children, it can be taxing on the body. And you
might find yourself wanting to make the unhealthy shortcuts.
And convenience foods or buy food, but you have to prep, you have to prepare, cut, chop, whatever you have to do, or cook in batches. Sometimes I cook for 2 days and it lasts for 4 days. So, you know, because we don't need to eat so much, and I need to stress that we eat way too much. We eat way too much.
We have to reconsider our plate sizes, even when we eat food out.
This is the next episode. We're looking at the portion sizes.
I love that.
How to cut down on it, because we are giving our body more than it needs. And what happens is that we put on weight. Weight that we don't need, weight that increases our risk for getting diseases. So how are we winning by doing that? If we cut back on the amount of food that we are eating, our money stretches, we can buy more, we are healthier, our risk of getting diseases is less. So it's a win-win situation. I'm not saying that we could do it. If you're somebody who's eating a large plate of food, do it tomorrow. Start by cutting back. If you're having half a breadfruit, you know, some of the sizes of plates of people is so large. So start by cutting back. If you're having quarter of a breadfruit, maybe half is way too much. You know, cut back on the number of slices. If you're eating a whole leg of chicken, you can cut it up. And there are things that we can do to fool ourselves, like fool our eyes. Like when you use the small plate, like in the demonstration we will speak about next episode. When you have a smaller plate, the plate looks full. So in your mind, your eyes, you see the plate is full. When you have a large plate, when you put that same amount on the plate, it looks like it's missing food. And it happens to all of us. It happens to all of us. It has happened to me. Like you go to this workshop, the plate is large, you take more food. The plate is small, you take less food. Now, this is only if you are not going to heap your plates, and we should not be heaping our plates
exactly.
All. So, and going for seconds, which we are all guilty of. These are the things that we can avoid doing to avoid overeating.
I totally agree.
Practical tips, just certain things that you know that you are doing, or we know that we are doing, we are supposed to work on.
And just, you know, the small changes, like you said, it's not something you just cut immediately cold turkey, but you start to do it gradually. You know, sometimes you go and you buy food and you realize, oh my gosh, they put so much rice. It's there, it's hidden at the bottom of the meat, it's endless rice. You can start by telling them, hey, maybe skip the rice in the meal and opt for something else, opt for more salad. I think even with our food establishments as well, and I know that that conversation is something that, you know, it may become later down the line, but even for the food establishments, in terms of how they're also plating their food.
Oh my God.
The amount that they're giving, the salad is really just the smallest portion.
And the peas.
Exactly, and it really should be the opposite of what they're giving. So even for the food establishments, they need to, you know, we need to have those conversations with them. Can we begin to offer better portions, healthier portions, more variety, smaller portions? you know, that people can manage. For those of us who you may not have time to prepare food for, you know, for work, for lunch, and you don't have a choice but to head to the restaurant to get something, you know, give me the option to tell you the portions that I would like in my food.
A few places have it where you can select, but most places
portions,
when they say you want half of the portion, like whatever they are plating, like they don't have a smaller plates.
Exactly.
How do you call it? The storage plates.
And then they try to, they literally fold that up.
With rice, macaroni and cheese, then you have provisions on there. Sometimes you have 4 carbohydrate foods, which is staple foods. So what's going to happen?
And then your body has to break all of that down.
And it gets stored as fat because it's way too much for what our body needs. Our body takes what it needs and the rest gets converted to fat and it's stored.
Now, Ms. Hunt, I also wanted to ask, would you be doing a dinner segment as well? Because I know for me, I try as much as possible to keep dinner very light and try to would have eaten, you know, by latest 7, because I've realized the later I eat and the heavier I eat, and my sleep is just, I do not get a good night's rest if I'm eating too much food at night and if I eat too late.
Dinner should be light. It should be at least 3 hours before you go to bed. So if you know you're going to bed at 10, then 3 hours before that should be your last meal. If you go longer than that, you will get hungry. So you want the food to at least digest, and you don't want to have something heavy, and while you're sleeping your body's trying to break this down, and you know, when we sleep, our bodies should be healing itself while we are sleeping. And if it's busy digesting food, breaking down food, metabolizing food, then it's not going to be doing what it's supposed to do. You know, regenerating your cells, you know, and removing toxins, whatever it does in the night, so that we can get up feeling refreshed and rejuvenated. So going to bed with a heavy meal on your stomach, it won't be happening.
Yeah, I could definitely tell you I've experienced it. My sleep has been affected because it was just too late, too much food, and just trying to make those small changes. You sleep better, you sleep for longer, you wake up and you feel energized, you feel like you're ready to go, you're ready to take on the day. So I would love to see a dinner segment from you with all of your amazing meals and your tips and just that very valuable information. And I can't wait to see the next episode as well.
We're looking at serving sizes and portion sizes, looking at the difference, because people use it interchangeably, but it's not the same.
Right.
You know, so it's your portion is really what you decide to select, and serving size is standard. So we'll be discussing that and looking at how we can, cut back on some of those portion sizes.
I love that, Ms. Henson. Again, I have to say you did such an amazing job with that segment, with all of the information. You were really natural and you just let it flow, and then you live this information. Ms. Henson is always posting, she's making these amazing snacks, and and she does it with her twin boys, and it's just it's family fun, and she just shows you that anybody can do it. You just have to give it a little extra. You start small, gradually, you stick to little tips and tricks, and before you know it, you're feeling better, you're looking better, you're eating healthy again. My plate, your plate, a healthy plate. And just before we close up the show, we just want to take a look at our weekly wellness tip, and this week we're going to be focusing on nutritional wellness in the workplace, because we spend so much time at work. So how do we ensure that we're eating healthy and eating right even when we're at work? So let's take a look at our weekly wellness tip. What we eat and how we fuel our bodies during working hours plays a huge role in our health, energy, and productivity. That's why creating a culture of nutritional wellness in the workplace is not just a nice extra, it's essential for overall well-being. Employers can make a big difference by fostering healthy habits in the workplace. This can include providing access to nutritious food options, offering nutrition education, and encouraging regular breaks for hydration and mindful eating. Simple actions like making healthy meals the default for meetings or hosting fun challenges can create long-lasting change. Leading by example and implementing supportive workplace policies also go a long way in building a culture where employees feel empowered to make healthier choices every day. Here are a few tips that encourages mindful eating and healthy habits for overall employee well-being and productivity. Provide healthy food options and resources. Stock the office kitchens with fresh fruits, vegetables, nuts, and healthy snacks. In cafeterias and vending machines, provide and promote healthy choices like whole grains, lean meats, and plenty of produce. Ensure access to water fountains and encourage employees to carry reusable water bottles. Provide nutrition seminars, workshops, or online resources to help employees make informed food choices. Offer access to nutritionists or dietitians for personalized guidance. Create a supportive workplace culture. Promote a culture that respects regular, designated breaks for meals away from the workstation. Create designated eating areas free from distractions to help employees savor their food. Organize friendly competitions or initiatives like fruit and veggie challenges to build healthy habits. Managers and leaders should model healthy eating behaviors and offer healthy options at meetings and events. Implement supportive policies and environments. Ensure meetings and events always include healthy food options, focusing on grilled, baked, or roasted foods. Support home-prepared meals by providing refrigerators and microwaves to allow employees to store and heat their own healthy meals from home. Offer discounts on nutritious meals or other incentives for participating in wellness programs. Use company newsletters, emails, and posters to share nutrition tips, highlight healthy choices, and promote wellness initiatives. Remember, small steps can lead to big changes. By promoting nutritional wellness in the workplace, we not only improve employee health, but also boost morale, focus, and productivity. After all, a healthier team is a stronger team. And that was our weekly wellness tip focusing on nutritional wellness in the workplace. And again, we were so happy to premiere our very first nutrition program hosted by our chief nutritionist, Ms. Lisa Hunt, My Plate, A Healthy Plate. And this first episode featured breakfast and lunch and just looking at the plate model and giving you guidance. So Ms. Hunt, I want to thank you. That was an amazing program and we really look forward to the other segments and the other important nutritional information that you'll be sharing with us. So we say hats off to you and your team. It was a great job done.
Thank you very much.
And to everybody as well who was a part of that initiative, we say thank you for your amazing work. And this is where we come to another exciting episode of the Wellness Hour. We want to say thank you to you, our viewers, for joining us. Thank you to the Hot7 team. And we hope to see you again next Thursday for another great episode of the Wellness Hour. This is where we sign off, wishing you a great Thursday. Bye.